guys. This is Ben from Overland Garage, and you're going, what is that behind you? Well, I'm not going to do a walkthrough today, but Jess and I went and got this Jeep, and I think you need to take a quick peek at it, so stay tuned. This is Overland Garage. So this Jeep is a 2001 Jeep Cherokee Sport, 4.0 liter, and in my opinion, that's the only one that belongs in these. And she really wanted a Jeep, and it really had a budget of $1,000, and you know as well as I know that that number doesn't exist if you're buying a Jeep. So we looked around, and we were able to go and take a look at this one after I looked at 3 of them, and this one was only $2,000, and I was like, why is it so cheap? So we went and looked at it and ended up talking them down to $1,700 and picked this bad boy up. And it had the old custom bumpers and the tires and everything. So I'm not going to do a walkthrough right now, but I just wanted to give you a little background so you could wrap your mind around it. And what we are going to do today, though, is this has a junction block in it that's no good, and it got water in it, and I wanted to show you that and show you why they fail and what the results are when they do that. So thank you for watching Overland Garage, and we're gonna do that next, so stay tuned. So what we got going on here is this is the junction block, and as you can see, it's this multi-layered thing, which is kind of strange, but like, what is all this junk? But yeah, so it's got this multi-layer with pins and metal and all this nonsense you really don't need. But what I did notice is that it gets all green and corroded. I mean, like, look at all these pins, and as you can see, this is not a good thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap this one out and put the other one in, which is all brandy new. But like, look at all this green corrosion crap. Yeah, this was the problem, and I think we're gonna have to be into some wiring harness stuff too as well. But yeah, you're gonna want to stick around and see what we can get into with this. Now this is what we're looking at. If you look in here, like, look at in all these plugs right here, and this is where that junction block is. But you know, look at this plug, it's all full of that green corrosion, and I'm gonna try to put it together, but I think the pins themselves are messed up too. So, but I think we can throw the old dielectric spray on there and it'll be all mint. But we're gonna try that and see what happens. And I'm also gonna have to do some body work down in there in that dentage area. But take a look at this Jeep. Like, I don't think I've ever seen one of these with the old leather interior, and this is sweet. So yeah, but I'll be having a walkthrough video soon on this. Stuff I'm using, the good old CRC QD electrical cleaner, and this actually has a little bit of dielectric stuff in it, but I'm also going to put the old in the connectors too. So yeah, just want to spray those down and clean them up, and I got to do some body work in there because somebody must have hit a big old boulder and just crunched this panel in, and I could just barely get that thing out of there. But once I get this all taken care of, I'll show you where that thing goes, so that if any of you are doing this job in the future, you know exactly how to do it. As it turns out, I have to do way more work than I thought, and this whole wiring harness that goes all the way from this junction block all the way over there and connects underneath the dash, and then it runs to this airbag module. So I had to take this out of the other Jeep because the pins were all corroded and all just mushed together with corrosion,
and they weren't making a good connection. But I just, as a test, I replaced all this. I gotta actually splice this connector in because this isn't the same, but the wiring is. I gotta splice that connector in and then put this all back together. But I did do a test, and I do have gauges now. So sometimes these pins corrode right out of the block, and then you'll have to replace the harness. But luckily for me, I had a whole wiring harness out of the other truck. So this is all set now, and I'll just put it back together, and this Jeep will be all running and driving now. So what we learned today is you get into a project and you're doing something, and everything just throws a wrench in your plans, and you think you're going to just do a 5-minute job and change a junction block, and it turns out that it's a 3-hour job, and you got to take the center console out and all that other stuff. But the good news is everything now works, and this is the gauges and the radio all works. So if you have a problem with the Jeeps, it's usually that junction block, and 9 times out of 10, but once in a while, you'll run into a junction block and the wiring harness on the 99 to 2001 and probably even earlier Cherokees. But I wanted to just talk about that for a minute so you could see what we're talking about. But this is the interior as it's all finished, and we're all good to go now. Hey fellers, so if you like this content and you like what you've seen, don't be afraid to throw a comment down there, and well, you might as well hit that button that says subscribe and like the video, and I'll keep putting content out so you can keep seeing it. And pretty soon I'm going to do a walkthrough on this video on this Jeep behind me, and then before that I have a little rear end swappage to do because somebody decided to weld the gears all together. But I'll show you that video, and then we'll do a walk around of the whole entire truck and talk about it. But thank you for watching Overland Garage, and get out there and build and explore. Thank you.